Talking now with Ferris State head coach Jeff Piere as the Bulldogs prepare for Saturday's Anchorbone Classic. Coach, first, let's start with last week's game at Northern Michigan, a game where a play here or there really could have changed the outcome of that game.
Yeah, it was very disappointing. You know, to go up and play in the Superior Dome is a challenge, and Northern Michigan's a very good football team right now, and we knew that we had our hands full going up there. I mean, there were pluses and minuses in that football game. I thought our intensity level and the way we played the game and approached the game was a positive. Unfortunately, we didn't take care of a few opportunities to score when we had chances, and we kept them in the ball game. And we got down to the end, a little bit of a shootout, and then all of a sudden some breaks started to go the opposite direction for us and affected our ability to win a football game. But you can't allow those things to happen. I mean, we needed to, score a couple times earlier and make a couple things happen earlier in the ball game to put them away. But Northern Michigan was a good football team. I mean, we took one on the chin. We're come back. That chip on our shoulder maybe got a little bit bigger. And now to worry about us being ready to play football this week, that's not a question with the challenge that we have ahead of us.
In terms of the competitiveness, your team was right there in a hostile environment against a good team inside a dome. That has to be a good sign of where you're at and the progress you've made.
Well, we made some good strides so far this year, and and our expectations, like I talk about, are very high, and we want to compete at the top, and it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight, and we're making strides in that direction right now. Want to try to accelerate that process as much as we can, but it is reality. But I look at the way that we're playing and the way our guys are preparing themselves during the course of the week. Up to this point, we have not had a so-so practice yet, and that is a huge plus when you start looking at the commitment that these guys are making to improve and get themselves better, and that's so critical. And we've talked about that from the beginning of the year. That's been so critical to give us the ability to play against some of the teams that we're facing, like this week and the following weeks, to be competitive, because the competition keeps getting better as we go through the season.
As you mentioned, your kids really shouldn't need a whole lot of motivation this week. You're taking on Grand Valley, the #1 team, your arch rival. I'm sure your kids are excited about this game in front of them on Saturday.
Yeah, it changes my approach. It's a little easier as a head coach. During the different weeks, you really got to look at trying to motivate your guys and get them intense and excited to play the game of football. And Sunday when we got back from Northern Michigan, I wanted to make sure they were clear, and I said, if I have to worry about that with you guys, we got our issues. When you play a team like Grand Valley and the rivalry plus their reputation and being #1 in the country, worrying about the intensity level of our football players is not going to be a concern. You just got to make sure that your guys can compete in that high intense battle. You got to make sure that they're able to maintain their focus to make the plays, when they're there in front of them. Sometimes when you get into situations like this, the guys want it so bad they try to do something over and above their responsibilities, and when you start doing that, you start to get into a situation where you're stretching yourself and not getting your job done. We just have to play solid football, do what we do, stay focused one snap at a time. We're going to take a few on the chin when you play a team that is as talented as Grand Valley, but you have to bounce back the next play, and sometimes you roll the dice a little bit, they're going to hit you, and the next time you strike and you hit them. But if you lose your concentration during the course of that battle and you lose your edge, then you're in trouble, and that's the whole thing that we have to focus on.
Last year it was a 17-10 game that went down to the final minutes. I'm sure your kids have to have some confidence after the way they played against Grand Valley last year coming into this week.
Yeah, I think so, and just the confidence level that we've developed this year, as we've gone through the season, they feel a little more positive about themselves and what we can bring to the table, and we're excited about this opportunity. It gives us a chance to show people who we are, and we know who we are, but we just want other people to know who we are also. And it comes to a game like Grand Valley, with the power that they have, we're not going to back down from anybody, and we're not going to back down from them, and we're going to try to lay it on the line and see what we can come up with.
Other than obviously being a very good football team, what is some of your preparation this week pointed out about Grand Valley coming into the game?
Well, you know, they run very well. I mean, they're very athletic, and they're the type of football team that you're not going to probably beat in a track meet. So you've got to just look at strategically what they're doing. You know, they're a fundamental football team. They don't try to have a lot of razzle and dazzle to what they do. They try to play the game, a sound game of football, and get good at what they do. And, you know, so it's not going to be a matter of trying to figure out things all along. It's a matter of trying to execute against what they're giving you. And they have solid schemes that they bring and players that are comfortable within those schemes.
Finally, talk a little bit about the interest in this game, and with the large crowd expected, the media attention it's already drawn. How does that help the atmosphere and the challenge you guys face on Saturday?
Well, I think it's great. You know, I look at the commitment that Division II players, you know, put into their preparation to play a game of football, and I mean, I'm excited for our guys to have the ability to play in front of that environment, and we're excited about Saturday. I think we're going to have a great crowd here, and I think Grand Valley obviously will bring a big crowd from down there, and then we're going to go toe-to-toe on that field and let the fans watch what happens.
All right, Coach, best of luck on Saturday.
All right, thank you.